Hi there, and welcome to changelifeforever.co.uk. It's Scott, your host, talking. And today we were talking about why you deserve to live a happy life. And I guess happiness is one of those things, isn't it? One minute you can be happy, the next minute you can be down, and circumstances come along, you think that everything's in hand, and then something comes and knocks you off your feet, or someone says something to you that changes your perception about things. And we kind of hide in our own little heads in regards to looking at situations and seeing whether we are happy with them or not. And when you sit back and you look at your life and you sit there honestly and you say to yourself, am I truly happy? You have to answer that question honestly. And if you're not truly happy, you deserve to be happy. And it means that you need to do something to change the way that you see things, the way that you view things, or the way that things are, so that you can have and live a happy life. Because life isn't to be wasted, it isn't something that we should throw away. And by the choices that we make sometimes, that can lead to our unhappiness. But when we take ownership of what those choices mean and why we made those choices in the first place, then we can look at it a little bit more holistically. And when you look back to times that you were happy, like today, you might not be happy in your job, but there would have been a time when you were really happy. You went for the interview, you were over the moon that you got the job, you worked really hard, you loved it, but then all of a sudden something changes and you don't like your job anymore. And it could be for numerous different circumstances, or it could be, life changes have come along and you're not happy with it, or it could be, you've decided to have a family. Bringing up a family is tough. Staying at home, looking after the kids is the hardest job on the planet. As your kids get older, they seem a little bit ungrateful, and you can look at the choices you made there and think that you're unhappy. But that is all just the way that you perceive and you look at things. And the only reason that I say this is because most of you will know that, I've been divorced twice. I'm on my third marriage now. And, looking back on those two marriages, I have absolutely no bad feelings about why those marriages didn't work. But what I've done is fundamentally looked at the two marriages that failed and always looked at the reasons why. And the reasons were is that you become entwined in somebody else's life, you become responsible for other people's feelings, and all of a sudden you kind of forget who you are. You forget that happiness comes from within and that happiness is something that you drive. But when somebody else is unhappy, or you're at work and everyone's unhappy, or you're at home and everyone's happy, you get sucked into that and trying to be happy when everybody else around you is just a miserable git or whatever. It's really difficult to pull yourself over and above how everyone else is feeling. But happiness does come from inside. And kind of looking at that, you know, I made sure this time when I've married my third wife, that there was a lot of lessons we learned. Relationships are tough, relationships are hard work, and if you want to be happy in your relationship, you really do have to look after each other. You have to remember the days when you met, when your eyes were sparkling, and the way you felt about each other and the way you feel about each other now. And you have to know that you are real soulmates, and that any indifferences or problems you have will just make you both unhappy. But if you commit to being together, then you will overcome those challenges. And some of the things that me and my wife do, we give each other hugs in the morning and a kiss for the day. We make sure, even if we've had words the night before or whatever, we still make sure that we give each other hugs. And it's the same with the kids. Give the kids a big hug in the morning. Good morning, how you doing? You're gonna have a good day, and then you've got something that you can hold on to, that you've got a starting point to make yourself happy. And I think part of happiness at the moment as well is being present. I think all of us suffer at the moment from talking to people, whether it's our kids, our friends, and people are on the phones, and you're just not paying attention. It doesn't seem as if they're giving you their time properly. And in order to be happy, we do need to be valued, we need to be rewarded for what we do, and we need to be recognized for the actions that we take and the things that we do. So if you're a parent, you want to know you're a good parent. If you're at work, you want to know you're doing a good job. If you're at school, you want to know that people like you and you've got friends. And if you're not getting any of that, then that leads to being unhappy in your life. And the way that I view this, and this is over years and years, is I don't take things personally. So if I talk to somebody and somebody upsets me, I know it's not that they want to upset me. I know it's not their behavior. It's how I've interpreted their behavior that normally makes a difference. And then when you allow those intrusive thoughts to come in and make you feel like that person really meant to upset you, really meant to hurt you, then you do yourself that own damage. But when you look at it and you go, it's okay, they might be having a bad day, or they didn't really mean it, or I'll talk to them later about it, and just have a conversation with it, you don't go making yourself unhappy about situations. And what you do is you look at everything from a learning perspective. Sometimes we do things wrong, sometimes we do make mistakes. We cannot all be perfect. So sometimes when people do say something, there's probably a reason for that. But when you can look at it and learn more about yourself, you will become more happy with who you are as a person and what you stand for. And it doesn't matter how much money you've got, how much fame you've got, you cannot buy that happiness. That happiness will come and it will be temporary. And that's all it will be, is a temporary solution to an ongoing problem. But if you wake up in the morning and you actually look at what you've got to do that day, you feel valued, you feel rewarded, you get recognized for it, you will be happy. And yet, sometimes you might fall into a bit of depression, sometimes you might just be angry, sometimes you might just have a bad day. But that is all okay. But our bodies are always, or our minds, sorry, are always there to protect us. So, we're constantly thinking all the time, why did they do that? Why did they do this? Why is the bus late? I'm stuck in traffic. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing at work. And before we know it, we've bombarded our thoughts with so many things that we get confused, we get upset, we get angry, and then we get frustrated. And then we probably take it out on our nearest and dearest or our closest. And rather than actually just chilling out and thinking about stuff, if something goes wrong, it's okay. It is all right for things to go wrong. It is okay to have a bad day. And if you want to live a happy life, you have to overlook these things and look at them and go, yeah, okay. So this has happened. What am I going to do about it? How am I going to make it better? How can I change that for the next time? And it's all about being open with your communication, not being hurtful or spiteful to people, not being hurtful or spiteful to yourself in those circumstances, but just making sure that you guide your life where you want it to be and that you look after yourself as the main priority in your life. And I know kids are important, I know partners are important, but if you don't look after yourself, you won't have a happy life. And that means doing things that do make you happy, doing things that make you enjoy life. And it might be that you don't know what that is. It might be that you don't know how to get that. But if you set off on a path of things that you want, and that might be just simple things, you want to have your nails done, you want to get your hair done, you want to go out with the girls or the lads, or you want to go on adventures, or you want a new job, or you want to create your own e-commerce store, or whatever that is, there must be something that you can see in your life that you can aim for and that you can work towards. And when you learn that failure is just one of those things, then you can make a really good and happy life for yourself by striving towards making yourself feel important, making yourself feel valued, making yourself look at life in a holistic way and thinking, yeah, it's okay, worse things could happen. Let's just make sure that tomorrow is a better day, that we do better tomorrow, and just try and have a positive outlook on life. But if you're sitting there with no passion, no meaning, no guidance, no rewards, no recognition, no value, then you're not going to enjoy life. But nobody can change that for you. Nobody will make you happy. And your own unhappiness sometimes comes from within you. And I know working with my teenagers, one minute they love me, the next minute they hate me. And it isn't anything that I'm doing wrong. But if I raised myself to their challenges all the time, we'd end up arguing. We'd end up getting into fisticuffs and arguments about stupid things that don't matter. But when you look and you understand they're frustrated, they're busy, they're getting texts all over the shop, they're having to be happy all the time to people and show probably some sort of side of them that is hard to maintain all the time. Kids and teenagers have got a lot going on nowadays. There's a massive whole world just in that phone. So don't let anyone suck you into their frustration, their problems, their issues, their unhappiness. Stay on the outside and help and guide other people and help and guide yourself to making sure that you live a happy life too, because you do deserve it and we all deserve it. All of us should be able to wake up in the morning and smile and be ready for the day and know that we've got a future that is bright, that we own, that we control, that we can make sure that living a happy life is something we look back on later on and go, wow, that was amazing. But you owe it to yourself. And I know it sounds easy on this podcast, but I've put a load of hints and tips on the blog as well at changeyourlifeforever.co.uk/blog, where I'll show you how to break your life down into simple living concepts, how to follow some of the things that I've said in this podcast so you can live a happy life too. So that's all I've got to say for today. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great week. I hope that life is working out for you. And if you want to join me on my transformation program, come and give me a shout and see me at changeyourlifeforever.co.uk. And I'll see you soon. Take care. All the best, Scott.